Shut up and sit down.
And we're on the air. Want to welcome everybody into the Pigskin Pricks. We are happy, we are dancing, we are flying by the seat of our pants. We are ready to talk some football.
My seat was hot. I had to get
Amen,
up.
brother.
The seat is hot. The seat is hot.
Flying.
So before we talk football, before we get into it, what's on the beer menu tonight, boys?
Oh man,
Lay it out there.
Come on, Joe.
I'll tell you what, man.
Take a drink.
All right, I'll take a drink. Well, I'm just telling you, I'm going to hide the label though, so that I can
Yes.
fit
Yes.
my normal way.
Yeah.
I got to tell you,
I just had to see your face again.
I've never had this, and I thought, well, what the hell? I'm going to try it. It's actually by a company called Kincaidor Brewing, and I got to tell you, it is, it's eye watering. This shit is. I mean. Holy shit.
It's not knocked his socks off. He's fucking speechless. Like he can't come up with a word. Well, good enough.
So it's called Devil's Gap, and it's a jalapeno ale. I'm sorry, guys. My eyes are freaking watering. And it's the hottest fucking beer I've ever had in my life. It's good. I like jalapenos. I like hot stuff, and I love beer. So I thought, no, why not put the two together?
No.
Fuck. Yeah, I mean, it's warm. It's something I certainly did not expect. It's a jalapeno ale, but woo! I like it.
Refreshing.
It'll refresh something. It'll be real refreshing tomorrow on the pot. I can tell you that. It's gonna be. But it's delicious. I mean, I really do like it.
What's the rating?
So I've had some beers that are like a little too just hot, not real flavorful.
Yeah.
Like a bad pepper flavor. So
No.
I was curious. Yeah, good.
No, that's not what this is. This actually has really good flavor, but it is warm too. I mean, it's got, now for a guy who eats ghost peppers and shit, it's, but in a beer, it's like, whoa, let's take a step back. I'm going to give it a 7.6.
7.6.
A 7.6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's pretty good. That's almost as good as a Busch Light.
Yeah. It's better than a Busch Light.
I know.
Yeah.
Beer.
Yeah. Here we go. I like it.
Cool.
I don't know. I mean, it depends. If you like hot stuff, you would like it. If you like jalapeno,
I would probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I can't imagine that.
Yeah. You never had a jalapeno beer?
No.
No. Now, I think I've had spicy beers. I don't know that I've ever had jalapeno in my beer. So
Interesting.
It's,
I'll be on the lookout for it.
I got a little water in my eyes, but yeah, it's good. I'll be burping the whole show after drinking this stuff, man. I'm telling you.
All right,
John,
John,
what
do you got, John?
Mine's nothing exciting. Water.
Grape juice.
Oh, look
Water.
at that. Joining the club. Here we go.
Are you shitting,
It's probably good that I
man?
am just because he had a nice, interesting, long conversation. Dude, I've been drinking beer all day, several different flavors. I just was like, I'm not feeling another one. I don't need another beer. I'm not even talking about them because then I can save them for later. Save them for later. See, I've had too many beers. No, save them for later.
I'll tell you, he really has to. We're not editing that out. Just so you know,
definitely
we're leave
not.
that in there.
Don't edit that out.
No, that's good
I
stuff.
So
wouldn't-
it's
I wouldn't
water
go
for
with
me.
that out.
A lot
Fair
of
enough.
sun, time for water.
Fair enough.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
Hydration.
see, where does water rate on your scale? You know where it rates on mine.
Oh, right. It's a 10 for you. It is. Okay, let me try it.
He's like a 3.
No, that's pretty good water. Well, am I rating it against beer? I got a
No,
question.
you're rating it you're just
compared
rating
to
it.
other waters.
You
or
can't
just,
compare it. It's just
He got it out of his
It's its
garden
own
hose,
entity.
dude.
No. This is definitely an 8.5 water for sure. It might even be better than that, but I just don't want to go too proud. I live in the country. I have well water. It's got really nice mineral flavors because of where I live, and fucking great. It's the best water I've had in a long time because I used to live in the city and that water was shitty compared to the water.
Tastes great, but smells like sulfur. Yeah.
No, because we have a softener and we actually use the salt that removes iron from it. So it's unless that runs low, it doesn't really taste like sulfur. But it's filtered, so it's just good.
Fandango.
All right, wonderful.
Does not smell like your ass.
Let's get off the softeners and talk a little
let's
football.
get some football.
I know
going.
you're
So
interested in that.
we have We have about 15 minutes to talk our 4 AFC divisions here, and let's pick our winners. Post-draft, obviously things might change before the season rolls around, before training camp rolls around. You never know who's blowing out a knee, who's getting arrested. Quentin Dunbar. So let's say
half the league.
Half the league at this point.
I know.
I'm just going to throw out my teams right off the bat.
Well,
Can I interject? I want you to only do one division.
One division, yeah.
One division.
Let us all
At a
talk
time.
about one division, if that's
At a
okay
time.
with you, Evan.
All right. Well, I'm giving you my AFC East division winner,
Let's do it.
New England Patriots. I'm giving it to you.
Freaking
New England
shocker,
Patriots. And
man.
I'm saying this. Yes, I understand the Buffalo Bills have improved. Josh Allen will probably make a leap. That's looking like a good team. I'm giving this on the principle of Bill Belichick and the fact that they still have the best defense in the league. And you know what? As long as their offense is as serviceable as it was last year, they're going to be just fine. And I think they win the division at 11-5. So there we go.
You answered the one thing I was going to ask, which was, what is their record going to be?
The
So
record, yeah.
they're not quite as good as this last year, but
No.
one game less, still won in the division. Okay.
And they do have a tough schedule, so there's going to be some close games in there. It was rated the toughest schedule in the league, so I guess we'll see. But I'm giving it on the principle that Belichick still knows how to put together a winning team, and they really believe in Stidham. So, how can you bet against them?
And hey, with that new kicker, they're going to win all kinds of games.
Exactly.
shit.
Exactly.
You know,
He's so good, I don't even remember his name anymore.
right?
I don't know.
Yeah, Rottweiler.
Dude, you're a fan and you don't even remember his name. So I mean, what's that say? John, do you want to go next or what?
Yeah, I'm not picking New England. It's not even
Okay.
close.
Well,
You know,
shocker.
I want to go with the Bills because that seems like it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go with the Bills.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I really was thinking, should I say this other team? But I know Joe will say them, so I'm just going to go with the Bills. So if they go down a game and Buffalo wins an extra game, then New England and Buffalo could be tied, but Buffalo's going to get the tiebreaker because they're going to beat New England twice.
I don't think so.
And so I know you don't. So they're going to win the division, and that's what I'm putting it at right there.
Okay, fair enough.
So they're both 11-6 or
11-5.
11-5.
There's only 16 games.
There you go, 11-5. But Buffalo's going to have the tiebreaker.
I do like that pick, John. And realistically, I do think Buffalo's probably going to win the division. But I'm going to say the Miami Dolphins.
I knew you were. That's why.
And
please.
the reason I'm going to say the Miami Dolphins is because it's fun. Number one, but number two, dude, they have just created so many good things down there this offseason. Now, listen, is it a stretch that they're going to win the division? Yes, 100%. You got a new quarterback.
The bottom of the league last year.
Yeah, I
in their
mean,
division.
but you know what? They made so many awesome moves in free agency. They made so many great picks in the draft. Listen, if these all come to fruition, and it would take a miracle for that to happen, but if it did happen, I think they could easily win the division.
With
But
what record?
I don't. I'll say 11-5. You're going. Listen, you don't win a division. You got to be at least 11-5 in this division to win it. I don't think they're going to go 12-4. I think it's going to be a tight race. Do I think New England's just going to lay down? Fuck no, dude. It's Bill Belichick. The guy's a winner. He's a proven winner, and he's going to have his team ready. I just don't think offensively they're going to have what it takes, at least until Stidham proves himself. Buffalo scares the shit out of me because they've added offensive weapons, and their defense is stacked. So, yes, I realistically think the Bills could be there, but I think Miami's fun. I'm just going to go with it. I've stuck with Tua, and you guys can vouch for this.
Yeah.
I said Tua was the guy. He's going to make the biggest splash. I believe Harry and I said that way back, and I really believe that that's the case. So, hey, Tua, welcome to the NFL, man. I hope it goes well.
Fair enough.
So,
if this was an in-depth AFC East episode, I would challenge your statement.
Of
but
course.
let's move on
Right.
Let's move on to the next division.
All
for the
I
sake
got to
of time.
say is I'm glad he picked it because it was a dark horse pick, and I really wanted to. I really wanted to go dark horse, but I knew Joe. I had the feeling Joe was going to go with that. So
I didn't think there was going to be a single division where all three of us picked a different team. So I
didn't either.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
If there is a division, this one probably makes the most sense.
Was the one.
It is kind of possibly up in the air a bit. Yep,
so AFC North. Baltimore Ravens. Is that a consensus?
Baltimore Ravens.
Actually, I'm going to go the Steelers, and I'll tell you why. The reason, and this is another dark horse. You're right, guys. On paper, the Ravens, they look like they're going to run away with this thing, and maybe they will. But what I'd like to bring point to is that the Steelers won 8 games last year. Their defense won 8 games. I believe they're good enough to do that again. I think Big Ben comes back. You got to give the guy credit. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings. Okay, he's 38 years old, but the son of a bitch can still play. If he comes back at form, he's good for 4 wins. They're now 12-4, and they're fighting for that division. So I'm gonna be another dark horse, and listen. Yes, do I think the Ravens? Everyone's picking them to win the division. I get it. My point here is I think the Steelers are going to give them a run for their money. Now, whether they actually take them out, that's a whole different story. But right now, where it sits, I like where the Steelers are. I like where Ben's rehab is. I got to go with a 38-year-old who's proven.
All right, that's fair.
Until he gets beat.
That's fair, but my point, the point on Big Ben is he's at this point of his career, can he make it through a full season?
Well, you're right.
And I don't know.
That's the question.
And I just think the Baltimore Ravens have more talent. They added more pieces, offense and defense. They look better than they did last year. So that makes me inclined to pick them. Now, maybe Lamar Jackson, he regresses a bit. Maybe the coaches have figured him out a little bit more. So I think that's a possibility.
I think that's a possibility.
I would still call them the favorites. So, and I just don't see I don't see the Steelers winning the division over them. I think the Steelers are a wild card team, though. I think they make the playoffs.
99% of people are going to say exactly that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a real rare.
I respect it. I think the Steelers are a playoff team.
Yeah. I really like Eric Ebron. I like some of the additions they've made too. So
fair enough. Yeah.
I think once upon a time the Steelers could have been something to talk about. I'm going to say this year Baltimore's going to beat their ass twice. I'm glad. I hope Big Ben comes back. Great. He's still going to get his ass kicked by Lamar Jackson and the defense for the Baltimore Ravens. It's not going to matter. I'm having a hard time figuring out if Baltimore's going to lose more than 2 games again this year, because they're going to be that
12-4.
I think 12-4 is realistic. If you look,
I think anything's realistic, but I think 14-2 again is pretty realistic.
If you look at their schedule, it's harder than the Steelers. Now they play the bullshit NFC East, which only has Dallas in it. So that's an easy pass through. Everyone else in their division is bullshit. So even if they lose to the Ravens twice, the Ravens still have to play the Chiefs. They have to play the Patriots.
Yep.
And you know what? The Steelers don't. They're playing like the Jags and the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a couple wins that the Steelers are going to get that maybe aren't necessarily wins for the especially against going into Kansas City or going into Foxborough. Hey man, those are just some questionable games.
Right, sure.
And so I think that's another piece to it is schedule strength.
Yeah,
the Steelers have an easier road.
Well, I respect the picks. So how about let's look at the AFC South. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about this.
Isn't it funny how he's like avoiding ours till the end?
Of course.
I actually like that.
That's
the best for last. That's what
why not? Why not?
Save the champions for last.
No, that's cool.
I respect it. But with the Titans, there's my pick. The Titans, the AFC South. I think it's going to be the Titans. They coming off an AFC Championship run, made it to the AFC Championship. Mm-hmm. They didn't really lose anybody, I guess you could say, besides Logan Ryan. But I mean, he's a replaceable piece on defense. They added offensive linemen in the first round. They added some pieces. I think maybe they regress a little bit, but there doesn't seem to be a better team in the division. Say what you want about Phillip Rivers. The dude is old. He's washed up. Say what you want about the Texans. They got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. I just don't think, I think Derrick Henry, as long as he stays healthy, Ryan Tannehill will play well enough too. They look like the best team in the division.
Joe, since I went second most of the time, I want you to go this time.
Okay. Evan, I got to call you out. I'm definitely on Indy. I think Indy's
Please.
going to win the division easy. I know you don't like Phillip Rivers. I don't either. Biggest crybaby in football. We've discussed this. But you know what? The guy can play. He can sling the ball.
What did he do in San Diego or LA last year?
Wait, who did he have? I mean, their team was hurt, dude. Listen, this guy, when he has a healthy team or he has players around him, he makes plays. All right. He just went, what was it, 2 years ago? He went to the AFC championship game. 2 years ago, right? So the guy has ability, okay. But what I really like about the team, even more so than that, is they picked up Pittman out of USC, right, in the first round, wide receiver. Now you got him and you got Hilton, right? They picked up Jonathan Taylor. Now they're going to match him with Mack in the backfield. That's huge, dude. Then what I really like is you got this Eason kid. Yeah, he's not going to play this year, but hey, man.
We're talking this year.
I understand, but I really like
what
that
is he talking about this for?
Well, I don't know. You say that
Maybe
he really likes
Rivers
Eason.
blows out his knee. Come on.
Right. That's it. And this guy could possibly step in this year. We don't know. But anyway, I just like what they have. The
Moral
Titans,
support.
not a huge fan of the Titans. Never was. I
Never will
realize Derrick Henry, whatever. But people know what he does. They're going to play it. They're going to make Ryan beat him. I just don't think Ryan Tannehill is that guy. Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill.
I think Tannehill's a better quarterback at this stage of his career than Phillip Rivers is.
No. Well, we're going to disagree on that because that's crazy talk. But anyway, so Titans are out. The Texans, you go down there.
Done? Tannehill hasn't.
What's that?
What has Phillip Rivers done that Tannehill hasn't?
They
both made the AFC Championship.
Played more games. I mean, Tannehill's been hurt his whole career. Do I think Tannehill would be a better quarterback had he played as much as Phillip Rivers? 100%. But when you don't get the game reps and you've been on the bench year after year after year, you're just not going to be as good as some guy that's played in every game every season of his career. Okay, and that just is what it is. The Texans, real quick, John, then I'll hand it off to you. Dude, I hate what he did down there. You get rid of DeAndre Hopkins. Yep. Yeah, they bring in Brandon Cooks. He's a good receiver, but he's not DeAndre Hopkins. You bring in David Johnson. The guy's a bum. They really didn't do anything down there. I think they're going to digress. They're going to be third. I think the Titans will come in second. I think Houston will be third. So
they'll be lucky if they sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They'll be lucky.
I think, yeah.
What do you think, John?
I think the Texans could be so bad that the Jacksonville Jaguars might be better than them this year.
Gardner Minshew.
That's what I think. So apparently I'm not
it.
picking Houston. And then I'm really on the fence because I like the
Derrick
Indianapolis.
Henry.
No, I like the Indianapolis Colts this year. And I'm almost was listening to you guys to see if one of you could sway me more than the other one because and I'm going to just go with it. I think Derrick Henry and the defense for Tennessee Titans is going to win out in the end. I think Indianapolis is going to be a very good team this year. I think they could definitely make the playoffs. I think that they're going to have a hard time stopping Tennessee's offense, and Tennessee's defense is going to be able to shut them down. That's just the way it's going to work out. So I think it's going to be really close. They might be a game apart, and the Tennessee Titans just pull it out. Guys, I like both picks. It's hard.
That's a toss.
I think Indy did a lot. They had a decent season last year with some struggles.
Yeah.
And so I think they have a good chance to improve, and they could win the division. That's how close I think it could be. But Tennessee was so strong last year. So good, and they didn't do a whole lot to change that in a negative way. So
it does not surprise me for you to go with the safe team.
Right.
I mean, listen, they made the AFC Championship. That doesn't surprise me at all. And they're not a bad team.
Right.
I just think they're going to digress this next season.
All right, guys. Well, we got about 3 minutes left, so let's hop in.
Well, we need like 30 seconds, and we all
I know.
know
Well, let me bring up some points here.
But we can celebrate.
I like the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, to win the division. But
what?
I know. Isn't that crazy talk?
Yeah,
I do think a team we should look out for, however. I think the Denver Broncos make a leap this year.
How'd I know he was going to say that?
I think they do. I mean, look how well they played with Drew Lock as quarterback last year. Where they go 4-1, 5-1, something. Was it 5-1?
He played 5 games, dude.
It was 4-1. So, and they add Jerry Jeudy, offensive pieces. They add 2 wide receivers the first 2 rounds.
And Melvin Gordon. What more
and they add Melvin Gordon. I think they make a leap to maybe they steal a game from the Chiefs. Maybe. I think they might. You know,
It's possible.
there's a game on every year that a team unexpectedly loses. You know, to a division rival. You almost very rarely win every division game. So I don't know. I'd say look out for them. This is a potential 9-7 team. I would say. I don't think they're going to win the division, but it's a fun talking point. So that's what I leave you with.
John, I insist.
So the Chiefs win 6 games, just beating each team in their division twice.
Okay. Okay. Except whatever.
And then
I might not need to say anything after John's done talking. I might just go like this.
Right. And then they win the division, and they're 13-3 this year. You know, they even do one better because Mahomes doesn't get hurt. They don't lose him for a couple games.
Yeah. We don't have to play with Matt Moore.
And I say 13-3, and I'm not even sure who the hell we're going to lose to. I think Baltimore's going to be tough. We could win. They could win. That's going to be a tough game. I think we're going to stomp the shit out of New England.
No, please.
Oh,
come on.
There's no comeback this time, man.
Yeah.
Your fucking quarterback's gonna shit himself, unlike Brady staying cool.
That's
And
right.
we're gonna
That's
rape
right.
him,
Yeah.
and pick him off. We're gonna score some more in points. That guy's gonna be throwing us the ball half the game because he's gonna be trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna be pretty.
We'll
for him.
see. We'll see.
Dude, Mahomes is going to throw the ball so much against New England, the McCourty twins are going to get each other pregnant. All right. I mean, this is how
At
bad
least
it's going to
Stephon
be.
Gilmore will
I'm
come
just
in and save
telling
the
ya.
day.
Listen,
Defensive player of the year.
Yeah, maybe. I doubt it. He still doesn't run as fast as Tyreek Hill.
See, the thing is,
Doesn't
we're
need it.
gonna throw the ball only
yeah.
enough to make you guys cover the pass, and then we'll just run it down
Yeah.
your fucking throats for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
Against the best
You
defense
know,
in the NFL.
here-
Okay.
Doesn't matter. You got to.
Okay.
You can't cover everything
Okay.
we got. Bring
Okay.
coming.
That's
Okay,
exactly
we'll
right.
see.
People learned
Yeah.
that last year,
Yeah,
too.
and your offense just can't keep up. That's the
Yeah.
problem. It's just you
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
a cool,
Yeah.
experienced quarterback.
You don't know.
and that
Stidham
hurts
could
so
be
bad.
Stidham could be the second coming of Christ.
I don't
You
know. I've never seen the guy. I don't even know where he
True.
played in college. I don't know anything
Auburn.
about the guy. But I know that when you're a rookie and you're getting your ass handed to you by the other team, and you start making things happen, it
Yeah.
falls apart, and that's what's going to happen to him.
Well, what happens is when you get a guy in there and the Chiefs get up, right? You tend to
you're
start to
screwed.
press,
You're
and
screwed.
when you start to press, you start making mistakes. And I think it's a learning process. And maybe he's as good as what they say. We simply don't know because we haven't seen it, right?
He went
hasn't
out
had the opportunity,
every day in practice last year against the best
Yep.
defense in football.
and that's
So,
great. But
you know,
let
we'll
let me just say this about the Chiefs. What concerns me about the Chiefs is that we play the fucking NFC South, which means we got to go up against Drew Brees and we got to go up against Tom Brady. You know, the son of a bitch leaves the AFC. He lands in the South, the fucking division, the same year that we have to play him. And what a pain in the ass is. So Tampa Bay, that game scares me. New Orleans, that game scares me. You know, and so these are games that could the Chiefs maybe end up at 12-4? Yeah, I think it's very possible. But even at 12-4, dude, they're going to run away with the division. Drew Lock, I'm not sold on. He played 5 games. Did he play well? Yeah,
played well.
he did.
He
But
did.
who did they play? I mean, I think that's another thing you have to look at because he played teams in our division and they all suck, dude. We didn't have a good team in our division last year at all.
Right.
So wait till he starts playing some teams in the South. Those Bucks, those, Saints. I just think that people are high on him too early. We need to wait and see. And I'm not saying that he's not going to be the second coming of John Elway. If he is, I'm just going to put a gun in my
don't know
mouth
about that.
because that sucks. But at the same time, I just don't. I'm not sure that he's going to be there. Right?
Okay.
The Raiders, man, they don't know what they're doing at quarterback. Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota. What's going on there? And then in San Diego, same thing. Quarterback. You got Tyrod Taylor. Is Herbert going to come in? They don't know if he's ready yet. There's just all these questions, and I think until they get them sorted out, and it's going to take at least a year, I think the Chiefs are going to be on top again. I mean, without question, without any problem, right? But I do agree with you. I think Denver's the biggest problem of ours in the division. I just don't know if they're a big problem.
I don't think they're division-winning level at this point.
Oh, by far, yeah.
So no need to worry.
I do like the offensive pieces they added, though. Judy and Hamlin from Penn State.
Next year,
Hamler or whatever the hell his name is.
depending, like if Locke turns out to be decent, then
Mhm.
a year or two from now, they're only going to keep getting better. They're only going to keep growing. So
Yeah, for
team
sure.
to look out for. All right, boys. Well, that wraps up our 4 divisions.
Right.
Do we want to? Do we want to throw out a wild card team at all? No. Who's
Why
our
not?
wild card winner?
Sure.
Let's do it. John, why don't we start with you?
Oh, well,
throw 'em
yeah,
out there.
and I'm looking because
We
you
have
said that. And
three
I'm like,
this year.
oh shit.
Hey,
Well,
what's that?
I already threw it out there. Indianapolis Colts.
Okay.
That's not
Okay.
really a wild card team, but that's the team because I like them so much in comparison to Tennessee, but not enough to beat Tennessee. That I'm going to say they're the next team squeezing in. Yeah, because I already dogged the shit out of New England, so I'm not even going to get courtesy.
I love that.
Since I picked New England, I'm going to say Buffalo because
There you go.
I have to
Okay.
acknowledge that Buffalo is looking
Yeah,
pretty good.
no doubt. And so I really, because of who I picked, I'm going to go with Tennessee. I think Tennessee is still a playoff team. I just don't think they're going to win the division.
Yeah.
So I said they would be my wild card pick for sure.
All right, fair enough. I like it.
Sounds good.
Well, they're going to wrap up this episode, and next
All right.
episode we are bringing on the NFC. So get ready to look in depth at that beautiful NFC East and that wonderful the
Are there
deep
teams
NFC
that
South.
play in that league? Are
What?
they any good? I said, are there teams in the NFC? Are they any good?
We'll see. I don't know. not any of note, at least that I can think of. But we'll find them.
Yeah.
Woo!
Ouch.
Yeah.
You just made a lot of friends, my friend.
That's awesome. I liked it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, it was
Well,
good.
All right,
fun.
guys.
All right.
Yep.
Good one.
Until
Take
then.
care. Yep.
All right,
Later.
man. Be good.
Shut up and sit down. Romantic, isn't it? Shut up and sit down.